We are at a tipping point with this current U.S. Supreme Court, and based on this election cycle, something is going to give. Gina Passarella explains.
I think it's a highly respected institution. It was when I came, and I don't think I've destroyed it. So I'd say it's one of the most respected institutions in American life.
The late Antonin Scalia on the legacy of the Supreme Court. In death, as in life, Scalia casts a huge shadow on the court.
The next president will almost certainly have at least one appointment, which means that you will, in effect, determine the balance of the court for what could be the next quarter century.
With Scalia's passing last February, the stakes are as high as they have ever been.
And the reason this is so monumental is that right now, with the 8 justices on the Supreme Court, it's not perfect this way, but for the most part, we've got 4 conservatives and 4 liberals. So with the 9th seat, so this will really control or change the balance of power for a long time.
And with the Senate refusing to even consider Obama's nominee, Merrick Garland, this is the longest time a seat has remained vacant in the court's history.
Some are saying they won't appoint a 9th Supreme Court justice at all.
Democrats have rejected justices, Republicans have. I'm okay with that. But to simply say, we're not going to hold a vote, we're going to wait for almost a year or over a year for the next president, that's wrong. It has never happened before.
And so as much as I personally disagree with what they're doing, they completely understand the stakes here and are doing everything they can to make sure that the Supreme Court does not become liberal.
But filling that vacancy left by Scalia is becoming more critical.
Before his February death, studies were showing that the contemporary court was the most polarized in history, with a higher percentage of 5-4 rulings under Chief Justice Roberts than under any other previous Chief Justice.
Meaning one vote on the court could affect landmark decisions on voting rights, immigration, Obamacare, consumer protection, and the notorious Citizens United case.
I think when we talk about the Supreme Court, it really raises the central issue in this election. The Supreme Court needs to stand on the side of the American people, not on the side of the powerful corporations and the wealthy.
It's just so imperative that we have the right justices. They will interpret the Constitution the way the founders wanted it interpreted.
If Donald Trump wins and he says he would like to appoint a justice in the Justice Scalia mold, if we have another Justice Scalia, but younger, then it would be a continuation of the Roberts Court and everything that it's done in a conservative way. If we were to get a liberal on the court, I don't know if we'd go so far as how liberal the Warren Court was in the 50s and 60s, but all of these big ticket issues that we've seen a conservative trend for the past 20, 30 years, that could be reversed with a liberal court.
In this political season, there are no guarantees. But one would expect that after the election, that all-important 9th member of the Supreme Court will finally be confirmed. But depending on who wins, that could mean a continuation of the most conservative court we've seen in decades, or the formation of the most liberal bench we've seen in a generation. For the American Law Journal, I'm Gina Passarella.